this is Aerocool 1, and I'm here with the Aerocool Aero-1000, the white edition of it. This is a $100 case, and this is the one for my personal rig. I chose it because I like how it looks and I like the features. It is obviously not a cheap case, being relatively the higher end. Generally cases are around $60 to $70. This one I wanted to bump that one up a little bit because I'm keeping it. This is my favorite PC case that I've ever seen. Of course, it has the acrylic window. At this point, that's to be expected. But what I like about this case is a combination of elements. Let's open up the actual case. It has thumb screws in the back to open it up, but I already took those out just for convenience. I'll set this off to the side so we're safe. And inside, you will see that there is tons and tons of room. For reference, the MSI 970 Gaming, and just show you, this is an ATX motherboard. So, it has a fairly decent amount of room in there. Definitely enough for basically any graphics card you want to put in there. For reference, this is a XFX Radeon HD 7770. This is my general graphics card, and it fits in easily. It's not exactly the biggest card in the world, nowhere near like say a 390X or a 295X2. It's nowhere near one of those, but as you can see, it fits. But on top of that, if you did get something like, say, a Gigabyte graphics card, which have the 3 fans, and they are generally just much, much longer cards, got a secret. Hard drive cage comes out with little to no effort. And then you can have all the way up to, I think it's 410 millimeters, which is more than enough to accommodate any card. But even like this, with the hard drive cage in, it can still accommodate just about any card you throw at it. Which actually, I think that's off right there. Gotta get it on the tracks there. Is that it here? It can still accommodate a 390X with that in, which can hold up to 5 hard drives, or up to 7 SSDs, or 5 hard drives and 2 SSDs in these little cages. And they're obviously removable, and have these little rubber grommets around the outside to make it so that if you have your hard drive, you just take it, which side is which, you hold it like that, you bend, and then you just slot it in. And then they're shockproof, and well, they're shockproof in 2 ways. They don't vibrate, and they're legitimately shockproof. So, it's good to have. I'm just going to go ahead and slot this in, because I'm about to reassemble this computer anyway. Done. Right. And currently, I have 2 Thermaltake Pures installed in this, Thermaltake Pure 12s, because I really did not want to remove those, because those are a pain in the butt to install. Like, there. No. Just not doing that. But it normally comes with 320mm fans. It has 2 in the front, 1 in the back, normally. I now have every fan slot filled. And then on the inside, if I can just turn this a little bit more toward the camera, it has rubber covers for your cord management, your cable management. The I/O plate is in the normal location. It has 2 little more rubber covers here that are for DIY liquid cooling, which I will eventually install. It has a filter for the power supply, which you're supposed to do with the fan facing down. And then while we're on the topic of that, it also has a magnetic filter on the top that just comes off. And if I turn it on, it has this, which clicks off and falls down, and then another easily removable one. You just pull out on these, and another filter. As you can see, Thermaltake Pure, those are the fans that it comes with. It comes with 3 of those. And now the one thing that I'm not the biggest fan of with this case is these. Half the time I don't mind, but these are full plastic. They just don't exactly feel nice. Of course, they don't expect you to have them. With Aerocool specifically, they have the options of getting tons and tons of drive bay expansions, such as fan controllers that are touchscreen. I will eventually get one of those too, but for now, I don't have one, and they don't exactly look all that great. So that's my one complaint there. In terms of everything else, it is almost completely a nice steel finish, or a nice steel case. And this is kind of special with this case. One of the main reasons why I chose it. It is very good for water cooling. If you take out the extra hard drive cage, in the front and in the top, it can accommodate a 240mm radiator, which is perfect. And then, of course, it can have a 120mm one there, but that's, I wouldn't do that. And that is basically perfect because I am planning on putting a 240mm radiator right here in the front. So it was perfect for me. Now, in terms of everything else, the fans that it comes with, let's see if I can find one of the cables in here. They're a disaster back here. Here. The fans are not great, I would say. They're not bad, but they definitely don't match up to the Pures. And those are just thermaltake Pures, not even Lunas, especially not Rings. And this is the plug for them. It doesn't look very good at all. In fact, I would never plug that into my motherboard. I have been using them at 100% speed all the time, just having them plugged into the power supply directly. And I would not have this hanging around my motherboard. That just crowds it out because I like to have my computer very, very organized. Cable management to be like I take my time on it. So I'm not too happy about that. Now in terms of that, it's to be expected. A bunch of little teeny tiny things that you have to plug in for the lights and everything. Now, in the top here, I can't really show this to you, or I mean, maybe I can if I tilt the whole case. Here is the power button, which I like. It's nice and clicky. I like clicky ones. It has a reset button, a little light right there that shows hard drive activity. It has two USB 3.0s and a headset, or I guess technically speaker plug and a mic plug. So those are good if you have a headset that the cord isn't very long for you to plug it into the back. It has 7 slots for PCIe expansions and a nice open area in the back here for cable management, as well as for installing a CPU cooler without needing to take the motherboard out of the case. So it is perfect. This back does come off to allow you to really access everything for cable management, which is very, very easy in this case. Everything will reach perfectly with just a power supply that kind of looks like Medusa's head back here, because it is a non-modular CX750 from Corsair, and it has worked perfectly. So this case is one I would highly, highly, highly recommend. That is, if you can find it. It is sold at Fry's. That is where I got mine. And it's $100. It's not exactly cheap, but it is a top-of-the-line case that I would highly recommend to anyone. Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Of course you did, otherwise you wouldn't still be here right now. Remember to leave a rating and tell me what you thought in the comments. And hit that subscribe button before you go.